Tim, your book is called From Holy Grail to Structured Fail. Tell me about it.
Yes.
About.
From Holy Grail to Structured Fail, I mean, Holy Grail, as an entrepreneur all my life, I've been searching for the Holy Grail to find that one idea that would really make it. I always been thinking that the Holy Grail was everything. 4 years ago, I was invited to come to Google to see a new tool called pretotyping. And I must say that meeting a guy called Alberto Savoia, who's, one of the lead honchos behind Google AdWords, had developed pretotyping. And to be honest, it blew my mind. What he blew my mind about was actually, he said, Tim, don't look for that Holy Grail anymore. What you need to do is actually start working in a structured manner, because 80% of whatever you touch will fail. I was like, come on, 80, that's a lot. But looking into the numbers, there's a huge Nielsen study supporting this argument. I mean, Google numbers, other numbers, all working the last 4 years with this. 80% whatever you touch will fail. So my change, and the whole title of the book has been going away from this only one single silver bullet idea to actually start just working a lot to see what out of the 80% that will fail, what are the 20% that I should go with.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you should fail more?
Actually, yes. And that is the kind of the turning point in this book, because it is the 80%. What I want you to do is get more ideas, boost your innovation level. just get quantum more than you did before, and then actually start finding out fast and cheap. And that's the method. That is what pretotyping is all about, fast and cheap, to get evidence. What ideas should we actually go with, and what shouldn't we go with? And the thing there is that I've always been focusing on, minimizing the failures. But the thing is, actually, you should do nothing about minimizing the 80%. You should accept that failure rate is 80%. And cheap, find out which is the 80%, which is the 20%. And by just finding out that, I thought this was only for entrepreneurs in the beginning, but been working with large corporations, I found out that this is the entrepreneurial enzyme that large organizations actually are in lack of. And they need this in order to survive in the future, which is, let's say, ever changing. So in bottom line, 80% will fail, accept that, and just go with that. Find out fast and cheap. How can I actually find out which 20% to invest heavily in?
So you can say that the failures are not the problem.
Mm.
What is it about failures that is good?
Yeah. As an entrepreneur, let's start with an entrepreneurial perspective, because I think actually large corporations need to be entrepreneurial again. A lot of them have been grown and big is beautiful, etc., but they need to kind of turn back to the entrepreneurial space again. So the problem with, or the good upside, I would say, with a fail is actually, if I have an idea, in my perspective now, after 4 years here, an idea is a guess, nothing more, nothing less. Then you can say I can write a business plan around this, or a business case, but they're built on assumptions. See, the failure, if I go to a market with the concept pretotyping, I actually start creating data, meaning that my future decisions will be based on data and not an assumption, gut feeling, who has the most stars on the shoulders in the company, etc. So the whole idea is actually to fast get this evidence. Will people actually buy or use my new product or service? Fast and cheap.
What you're saying is that you should fail more?
Actually, yes. And that is the kind of the turning point in this book, because it is the 80%. What I want you to do is get more ideas, boost your innovation level. just get quantum more than you did before, and then actually start finding out fast and cheap. And that's the method. That is what pretotyping is all about, fast and cheap, to get evidence. What ideas should we actually go with, and what shouldn't we go with? Think like a startup, act like a grown-up. So what is it that we throw over into execution? What 20% are we focusing on there? And the whole idea is actually to start failing more. I come from a country where there's a kind of a zero fail culture. We learn it in you get a highest grade if you make no mistakes in kind of an assignment. But the thing is actually here to accept it and just say, go with it. And from there, work from it.
What's the difference between pretotyping and prototyping? Pretotyping is that a typo or what?
No, it's not. I thought that as well 4 years ago when I was invited to Google. Prototyping is a fantastic tool. I'm not trying to neglect the power of prototyping, but use the right tool for the right thing at the right time. Prototyping is very good for product validation, meaning how should we build it? Can we build it? What should be in it, etc. Whereas on the other side, you have pretotyping, which is the market validation. The rationale behind this is actually to go to market with something that the customer, in the end, will think is there. So it's a pretended simulation of a core element of a product or service to see how the customer will actually react. Not if they like it or can I get it in blue, which you often get in a focus group.
So when people have read your book, what are they going to get out of it?
Mm.
Like, are their minds changed afterwards? Are they going to do business differently? How do you see that?
At least that's what I hear. I've been working full-time the last 4 years with pretotyping alone. And what I found out is it's more mindset that is using a tool. And the mindset, that is what I use kind of the biggest part of the book around. I really tell them to say, okay, this is a mindset that can change, not tomorrow or the day after there, it's today. Actually, when I have people through courses, people change immediately. And it's big words, I know, but I've also been kind of stumbling about, can such a small change have such a big an effect? And the result speaks for itself. Yes, it can. So if you adopt this, and I'll call it almost an entrepreneurial enzyme into a large organization, you start working in a completely different manner. You see different opportunities you didn't see before. Because we're trained in school, mathematically brain. We have a linear thinking. We have a kind of a rational thinking, a way of doing and working. This is kind of breaking that pattern and looking for new opportunities you haven't seen before.